Everything's different now. Took a while to figure out who I'm meant to be. Everything's changing now. I'm getting older, feeling down. Stuck floating in between. I'm moving on and I don't know where I'm gonna go. But let me tell you this, the one thing I now know. When you feel young and your world becomes what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be.
What's up, YouTube?
In my heart I'm 22, but I know that's not the
I'm
truth.
just finishing up some of the final
So I'll
little
just
stream
dream
setup stuff here
the stars.
that I have to do, and then we're going to get this show on the road.
Hand in hand, just me and you. Those days just seem
Thank you for
so
being patient.
far away.
We're gonna get it fired up.
'Cause time's moved on and I don't know where I wanna go. No more looking back. There's one thing I still know. When you feel young and your world becomes what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be. When you feel young and your world becomes what it's meant to be, what it's meant to be.
Alright, what is upstream? Sorry, is my mic's volume too loud? Lower the stream music. Cool. Give me 1 second here. Just see if I can get these volume levels. There we go. That's probably a little better, huh? So we both hear that a little bit less. Yeah, something like that. Probably bring that back a little. There we go. Alright, hopefully that's a good volume level for the music. Let's bring in the camera, see how this works. Alright, hey, what's up? We are on camera. Don't mind my janky headphones. Gotta get a new set. Got like a million in the garage. Don't tell anyone. Alright, and that is our other overlay. This is good stuff. Let's see if our chat pops up. Come on, the chat. No, probably have to get some stuff configured still, so that's okay. Alright, we'll figure that out. We'll get the chat on screen. There we go. Alright, so we are in Car Mechanic Simulator 21. and this is where we're at right now. I started this game. I played and beat the entire story mode, and the entire time I was waiting to do the supercars, the hypercars, the stuff I saw in the DLC. I just had the Game Pass version. Now I have the full version, and on the Game Pass version, you don't have any of the DLCs. The full version has all of the DLCs, and it also, I have a mod loaded onto this game. I don't remember what the mod is. I'll have to look that up for you. It's an overall experience mod, so it kind of adds a debug menu and adds a lot of options with regards to that into your gameplay. So yes, you can cheat with the mod. I have partially cheated with the mod, but in a way I didn't. So here's what I did. When I installed the mod, my new gameplay file, game save file, was incompatible with the old one, so I was forced to make a new game save. So on my old game save, I had beat the game. I had done the it's the Bizzarini something. It's a Lamborghini Diablo, the games version of a Lamborghini Diablo, and a Lamborghini Diablo GT as well. There's the GT variant as well as the normal variant. I had renovated a couple of those, bought them from auction, bought them from the junkyard, and brought them to 100%, every part fully 100% renovated and restored, and even full performance parts as well. There's my light. So right now I have to figure out a way to hardwire my lights, but I just switch them out. I've got them on battery right now. So I had finished the game, and I had about $1.2 million worth of cars that were fully renovated, fully completely done, ready to sell in my garage, and I just never got the chance to sell them because I realized that I was playing this game, saving up all these cars so that I could do a big renovation that was going to cost me a lot of money, and then I realized that that big renovation was never going to come. I had finished the game. I had done the Lamborghini Diablo and the Mercedes AMG. It's kind of somewhere between an AMG GT and an SLS. It's the game's version of those cars. I forget what these cars are actually called in the game, but they obviously have their own respective variants. They're not called the Mercedes AMG GT. But there is a Mercedes DLC that has some Mercedes, and there's other car brands DLCs as well included in this game. So we have Nissan, we have Mercedes, we have Pagani, we have Aston Martin, and so there's just a lot of new cars in the game now. What I've done is come in and bought up a bunch of cars because I want to do all of the renovations that I did not get a chance to do in the base game. I want to do all the flips. I want to do so right now this is just kind of a sandbox mode. It's not sandbox mode. There is a difficulty, and there is, money. Parts cost money. You have to buy parts. You have to fix it. It's not fully sandbox. However, with the debug menu, I was able to add some funds to my account to sort of match that $1.3 million or so I had in the account. So what I did was I gave myself all the money with the debug menu, bought all these cars, and upgraded them to the point that you see them here. I'm left with $53,000 and a bunch of parts. I'm level 39. Gave myself some level and XP as well so that I could just renovate my whole garage to how I had it before. Except I haven't done the cosmetics on the garage. So that's one of the cool things with Car Mechanic Simulator 21. If you guys have never played this game before, this is a simulator game, as the title would suggest. What it's about is renovating cars, being a car mechanic. You're buying cars from junkyards, from the auction, or you're doing customer orders, and you're fixing them. There is a story mode in the game where you have customer cars that you have to fix, and obviously those take time, and they don't pay out as much money as buying the cars yourself and fixing them. So that's the route that I've chosen to go. I go to the junkyard, I go to barn finds, I go to auctions, I buy the cars, I fix them, and then I sell them for profit, or I keep them. And that's kind of one of my problems both as a car lover and as a completionist, is I never want to sell the car after I finish, repairing it and upgrading it and renovating it, because I want that car in my garage. If it's a cool car, I bought it for a reason, and I don't want to have to build it again, unless obviously I made a mistake. Then I'll build it again, do it the way I want. So we're gonna see though, because I'm not going to allow myself any more debug menu usage other than speed. I will have speed turned up just so that we're not sitting here watching me screwing bolts all day long, as entertaining as that might be. But yeah, we're gonna jump right into it here. So this is our garage. If you've never played this game before, I highly recommend giving it a shot. The first thing you see is obviously Route 66 in the middle of the desert. So you got to wonder, how does this shop stay in business? How does it make any money whatsoever? The answer is that one single billboard right there. That is how they make all their money. They're advertising for their own game, and this a lot of people don't know. This game was actually made by this shop right here that you're looking at. This is what their headquarters looks like. It's in an old garage. I'm joking. I have no clue who made this game, but they did a really good job on it. So this game, as far as simulator games go, simulator games can get pretty bare bones. This game is not bare bones. I mean, these are not modded cars. These are DLC cars. And I mean, they look fantastic. This is a Dodge Viper. This is a Land Rover Discovery here. I believe it is. Is it a Discovery? It is a Discovery. See, right here on the hood. Should open my eyes. So I have all these cars here, and they're all in sort of varying stages of completion. The first car that I have here is this Land Rover Discovery. This one is fully renovated except for the motor. There's no motor. There's just everything else is in brand new condition except for the motor, and it needs some fuses. But this is what you do in this car, or in this game. Is these are all cars that I've bought. So you can see they're in varying stages of completion. We've got ones here with no wheels whatsoever. They're just sort of sitting on the body, so it's kind of scary. But somehow we've made that work. I guess there's some wood under there. Can't see it on that one. But that one's also got some wide sort of under tub there. Let's see if we can crouch down there. You can see how wide that sort of door jamb wheel arch area is. And then we've got the Aston Martin DBX. This is an Aston Martin DBS, of course, V10 Viper. Aston Martin DBX with the red interior on the pistachio sort of mint. It's not really mint. It's sort of pistachio exterior. Aston Martin DBX, super SUV. So a new genre that's popping up of cars, super SUV, that's been exploding in popularity recently. And speaking of supers, we have our Porsche 911 here. This is one of the only cars. It's a 911 Carrera 4S. It's one of the only cars we have here at the garage that's completely finished. The only thing it needs, I think, is a rear license plate, if I'm not mistaken. But this car is done otherwise. And so, as you can see, if we look into the engine here, well, there's an engine cover, but if we click on something, maybe the wheel here, yeah, so that'll show us underneath, and this thing's ready to go. This thing doesn't need anything done to it. Showroom ready to sell. Over here we got I could say an R34 GTR Skyline, but I'm not going to, because it's not technically a Nissan. It's technically a Ribson, if you can see that. Let's see if we can crouch here. Yeah, Ribson, Ribsan. So that is the game's version of Nissan, and it's not a Skyline, it's a Starline. So this is a Ribson Starline, and that's confirmed if we look at the car status here. So part of this quality of life mod, and that's what the mod is called. It is called the quality of life mod. I'll link it in the description, and I'll credit the creator so that you know who made it. But it's a great mod. It provides a lot of functionality. One of the functions that it does provide is that I forgot about is that it actually replaces the names of all of the stock in-game cars with their real-life counterparts that the car was modeled after. Obviously, it's not exact. It's a still a parody, but you know that's what this game does. So this game has replaced, or this mod, this quality of life mod, has replaced the name of the Ribson Starline with the Nissan Skyline R34 GTR. So you can see all these cars are at different stages. You know, these couple don't have the motors in them, but otherwise they're completely restored and renovated otherwise. This one is just down to its bare body. It has nothing but the bare body and maybe the interior. So we've got a steering wheel, no seats. We've got the rear bench. None of it really looks in great condition, but the rest of the interior has been cleaned. But the steering wheel itself, as you'll see, will need replacing completely, because you can't repair those. So the way that you repair cars is you first get the car, you assess the car. You have a set of tools in this game that you can use to diagnose cars, find out what's wrong with them. I guess if we go to the 911 here, this is the most complete car I've got. I might have to move this to the garage because technically one of the quality of life mod, you know, improvements that it adds is that normally you only have these 3 spots for cars right outside the garage, right in front of it. The quality of life mod adds 1, 2, another spot here, and then 1 or 2 more spots here. So it adds, I think, 5 or more spots to the exterior of the garage. But the problem is that the spots that it adds, you can't just go up and start. Well, you can mess with the car. Well, let's see if we could actually. Yeah, it looks like we could maybe test it. So the way that you usually. Oh, okay. That's how you add it on to the list. Gotcha. So that's a shopping list shortcut. I haven't used that. So there's a shopping list in the game where you can just kind of point it apart and add it to the shopping list, but there's no way to quick remove. So whatever, we'll deal with that later. So the way that we're going to be working with these cars in this game is we're going to walk up to the car, going to look at it, see what kind of shape it's in. Obviously this one, every part on this car is going to be at 100%. We already know that because we built it, we renovated it, we restored this car, and this car used to look like that Skyline over here, just a heaping pile of rust. What I've done to these over here is what I didn't do to that one, and we'll talk about that one in a minute because that one's spicy. We got some other spicy ones too that you guys might see because we might have to go into the garage at some point and move some stuff around, but you won't see them in person yet, and they're in various stages of completion as well. So again, 1.23 million, this is what it buys you. So all these cars that you see here plus what I'll be showing you guys in the garage, obviously they were not in the greatest of shape, and I've already flipped a car or two to, you know, sort of help fund the building of these few. But we're really just getting started. Now there's 2 more in the garage, and then I've also got more in the parking. This game has a parking section, which is not the parking that you see here. It's off-site parking, and there's, I think, 3 or 4 alleys of off-site parking. I think up to 5 even, and they can hold 10 cars each. So up to 50 extra parking slots. So we're not running out of space anytime soon, guys. But what we're going to do here is when we get a new car, let's say this one's new to us, let's just pretend. We're going to come in, and normally we're going to open the hood so we can access the engine, obviously, in this car. Can't access the engine in the front because the engine's in the back, and then in the back you can't access the engine because there's an engine cover. Could take off the engine cover, but I'm not bothered with that today. So another way that you can get into the interior of the car, because that's what we're looking at, not the inside here, the actual interior, but to the sort of bare bones skeleton view, where you can see through the car, the body panels are invisible, and you can see all of the parts inside. So to get into that overview, skeleton view, mechanic mode, you want to find a part that you can work on. So that's not a body part, not a window, not a light, but a part you can work on. So something. Hold on, we lost music here. Something like suspension. And we're going to come in here and click on it. So we're going to click on the wheel here. That brings us into the suspension, and as you can see, it brings us into a cross-section view, sort of an exploded skeleton x-ray view of what's going on inside the car. So these are all of the mechanical and performance parts that we're able to change within the game, within the mechanics that the game offers us, no pun intended. And as you can see, this one's been fully rebuilt. So all these parts are in pristine condition. When the car is in bad condition or a part becomes worn, either from use, age, or because it's broken, it'll become rusted, it'll become old and dirty looking, and you'll be able to tell that part is broken. The higher the condition, the shinier and prettier the part will look. This car is at 100% because we haven't actually driven it yet. We haven't used it. We just renovated it, restored it, and then it's been sitting here because, I mean, it is Car Mechanic Simulator. It's not iRacing. But wouldn't it be cool if there was a racing game, or a racing sim even, where instead of, like, for example, let's say you're doing a special event in iRacing. You're doing the, 12 hours of Spa. I think it's a 12 hour. It might be 24, but 12 hours of Spa, right? In iRacing, you've got a spotter, you've got 2 drivers, 3 drivers, 4 drivers, whatever you've got. And wouldn't it be cool? You might even have a crew chief. Wouldn't it be cool if you also brought mechanics? Wouldn't it be cool if when you crashed, there was a mechanic role where they kind of did something like you do in this game to try to repair your car as quickly as possible instead of just giving your time? Obviously, I think it's crazy. Might be asking too much, but hey, heck, you never know. iRacing could buy out these guys and bring that to the service. So that would be really cool. Random side thought, but yeah, I don't know if anybody saw that before. Maybe, who knows. Anyway, so what we're gonna do in here is that now we're gonna click here on the wheel. It's gonna highlight yellow. That's how we know that we can click on it and interact. So in this case of the headlight here, we can't. If we click on it, we left click, it won't bring us into that exploded view because it's a body or exterior part. We can left click and hold, and you see that little wheel comes up. That'll want to start removing the headlight, and that's why I let go of it a couple times because we don't want to remove the headlight right now. So we're just going to click on the suspension here. That's going to bring us in, and then what we're going to do is we're going to right click, open up this wheel here. This is obviously our interaction wheel. Inventory, here's where we can see the status of the car, so all of the stats, the color, the conditions, the body frame, interior. The body is starting to, not starting to wear. Not sure if the bodies do wear over time as you have a car parked outside, in this game, but I do know that the body is at 91% here. It's the only thing not at 100% because it doesn't have the license plates on it, and the game does consider the license plates as basically body panels, and so if those are missing, it'll consider the body not at 100%. So you've got like a throttle curve here, so you can see sort of how the motor's responding, and then you've got the individual parts here that are able to be replaced or needed to be replaced in order to build the car. And you see the only 2 here that don't have a percentage. The percentage represents the status of the part, how much life it's got left in it. So it's at 100% health, or if it's at 0% health or 10% health, time to replace it. Front and rear license plate are currently missing, so those don't show up. And then at the last page here, you see the value of the car, value of the parts, value of the body, performance parts that we've thrown on it. Performance parts do increase the value of the car. They increase the sale price, as well as obviously the face value of the part. But then you also get more on top of that. If you soup up the car and then you sell it, you get more. So and then you get also a value, a bonus for the condition of the car. So if the car is in 100% condition, you will get a lot more condition bonus. So this condition bonus might turn into $100,000 once I put those 2 license plates on it. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me, but it's at least going to be 10 or 15 grand more just for putting those license plates on there, because the entire car will be at 100%. And then you've got your profit, and then you've got your sell value. So as you can see, we bought the car for $10,777. We put a good amount of money into it, and then we're profiting $235,000 at the end. Obviously not considering the parts that we put in, but these are all net positive here. The parts, the body value, we're all net positive on those. So we haven't spent more than 65,000 on parts, not even close. Probably not more than 20 on parts, I would guess. On body parts, maybe another 10. So I'd say probably about a quarter of the added value from those parts that you're seeing here. That's in credits. I'd say about a quarter of that value that you see is what we actually spent on those parts. So we're profiting basically 300%, which is really good. So here when we're in the exploded view, what we can do is we can go into additional tools. We're going to pull up our OBD scanner. So in our additional tools, we've got a bunch of tools that we can use to diagnose these cars. OBD scanner is going to check everything that can be checked with an OBD scanner in real life. So that's sensors, coils, spark plugs, stuff that is connected to the ECU that the ECU can then read and get out via the OBD port, that information. So we're just going to go one by one, and we're going to do all these tests. I can test the compression tester, which is obviously intended to check the health of the engine. So that's what we're getting here. If you look in the corner here, we're getting camshaft, piston rings, engine block, and then yeah. So it normally would tell you headbeat, but I'm not sure with this one. So the compression test shows you kind of the health of your engine, those engine-related parts. You're going with a multimeter. So you go through these tests one by one, and then each test gives you a more complete idea of what's wrong with the car, if the car is working, if the car is broken, and if so, how you're going to fix it. So here with the multimeter, we're getting all of the electronics. We're getting all the fuses. We're getting the fans, the battery, the alternator, the throttle, the starter. So we're, all of this, the condition of all of those parts that we know what we need to replace and what we need to repair and what we can repair. You can repair parts. You can only repair some parts. You can't repair any parts that are considered expendable, like filters or headlights or anything like that. Tires you can't repair. You can repair batteries, ironically. You can recharge them. Tire tread tester here. Tell us how our tires are looking. But what you can't repair is anything below 15% health and anything that is considered expendable, like fuses as well are considered expendable. So it just depends. But obviously, you know, repairing can save you some money. Instead of having to buy a whole new part, it costs significantly less. And it just requires you to play a little repair mini game. So our last test here is a fuel pressure test. Once we're done with that, we're going to go through and examine the car. There will be different parts to examine. So we're going to right click here, pull up the interaction menu. Oh, sorry, we're actually going to get out of this expanded view, look at the car, then pull up the interaction menu. We're going to go in examination mode. Now it's already showing us green on everything, but see, it says suspension 10 out of 10. If I were to press and hold, click and hold left mouse button here, and I can show you here on the Skyline. Obviously that one's full green because we know the condition of every part. On this Skyline, we won't know the condition of every part. So these are all gray still. If I left click and hold on one of these sections here, see we have suspension, air intake, engine, it highlights different parts here. If I left click and hold on one of these, you'll start to see it sort of scan these one part at a time. And it's going to let us know the condition of each of these parts as it scans. So you see in the top left corner here, it's showing us the condition of all these suspension parts, anything that we can't test otherwise with one of the various tests, diagnostic tests that we just ran. So this is how you diagnose cars that you get from the junkyard, from the auction. And you can actually do this at the junkyard and at the auction without having any kind of testing equipment on you or anything. Just in the game, when you're there, you can look at them before you buy them, before you bid on them, and decide, you know, is this a good idea? Or, you know, as you start to get an idea of where all the condition of all the parts are, you start to learn, okay, most of the rest of the parts are probably going to be in a similar condition, even if I can't, you know, find or discern that information now. you know, is this worth buying? Is this going to cost money? Is this going to make money? You know, and then you just sort of decide from there. You know, if you're at the auction and you're buying a car that's practically brand new, intending to make money on it, you might not be able to make much money on that because there might not be much to repair, and for the amount of time that it takes to tear that whole thing down and repair each one of those parts and put it back together, you might only be making 20 grand profit when, you know, you can buy a junker, repair those parts, buy new ones, and make 100 grand profit. So, you know, it just depends what car you find, how much money you pay for it, what condition it's in, and how repairable is it. You know, does it have all the parts with it? Are they all repairable, or are you going to have to get new parts? Or do you intend to build it into a high performance monster? You know, if you want to make it, you know, all souped up and put performance parts on it, then it doesn't really matter if it has parts with it, because you're going to be replacing a lot of those parts anyway, especially in the engine, especially on the intake and exhaust side. So stuff like that doesn't matter as much. You know, almost all of them are going to be missing at least a wheel unless they come from the auction. But that's sort of the fun of it too, because then you get to decide, am I going to replace the wheels, am I going to get new ones, am I just going to fix the old ones and then buy whatever, you know, is missing, and then, you know, you get to fix the bodies, paint them up, and then fix the mechanical, and you know, they're worth a lot. But see, even like something like this Viper without an engine in it is still worth $104,000 if I were to sell it right now in game. That's $82,000 profit just for working on the body, putting all new reservoirs and ECU and sensors and things like that, motors and servos. But, you know, you do that, new interior, new paint job, fix the body, make it look brand new except for the engine. Even without the engine, it's worth over $100,000. So if I needed money, I really could just go over here. I could even throw the rusty engine I have that I pulled out of it back in it and just sell it like that, you know, kind of as a little bit of a rust bucket. But I mean, what's the difference? Because they're going to pay a little more because it comes with that rusty old engine, even then if they wouldn't, you know, as opposed to what they pay if it didn't come with that, you know. So we might even do that. So that I will show you in a second. You might already see what it is. We're going to go inside and we'll show you what I got in here. I got a couple really cool cars. This is an Aston Martin V8 Vantage, or just the new Vantage rather. I don't think they technically say V8 anymore. It also doesn't have a V8 engine in it right now, but it will. It's the V8 motor that's also in the, I believe, the AMG GT, and definitely I believe in the AMG C63 coupe Mercedes, and I think the sedan has the same motor as well. But yeah, this car is no slouch. It is a twin turbo V8, and it is fast as all heck, 550, 600 horsepower, something like that. And in a car this small and light, that's getting close to race car territory. And then this here is a Carrera GT. It's rare. It's a rare car, and it's a nice red. And this one, these two are fully ready to. Actually, I think this Carrera GT has the motor in it. Yeah, so this Carrera GT is just about done. Let's see what else this needs here. If we scroll through this page, see what's missing? Just the rear license plate. So this thing is done, and right now it is worth almost $300,000. We're not going to sell it because I got to show my friends. It's a cool one. So we're going to jump out of there. Let me plug up this light here. By the way, if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We're going to be streaming a lot more here now. As you can see, we got the setup, we got everything going, we got all the overlays for you guys. So I want to make this a entertaining and a good stream experience for you guys. Speaking of, I think my camera's a little dark. There we go. So we'll send that. That's perfect. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna jump back into the game. So right now, what I really need to decide is what I want to do next. Right now, I've got a motor on the stand. This game over. Stop lagging. This is the. Now it says Aston Martin in the bottom left-hand corner there on the illustration of the engine block, but this is actually very much a Mercedes motor. It's made by Mercedes, and that's why it's in the AMG and it's kind of a genius design. You'll see that as we're putting it together. It's kind of unconventional. Some things like the crankshaft cover, crankshaft bearing covers, and definitely the engine head coil covers are just completely not like anything you've ever seen. The crankshaft bearing covers have 4-inch bolts in them, in each of them, and there's 5 of them. So it's kind of intense, as you'll see, but you know, obviously you get a really good product out of it. Hold on, is this M177? Let me do some research on this. Let me look that up, because this might actually be the motor from the DBS. So this might actually be an Aston Martin motor, and I can't really vouch as to who owned Aston Martin at that point. I think it was possibly Ford, so it may or may not be good, but I think this might have been before Ford. Nothing bad to say about Ford, just yeah, if we're talking about heirs of Aston Martin. So I'm gonna M177. Yeah, so that is the Mercedes engine. Okay. Yeah, so this is it was the first variation released into the AMG C63. So yeah, so this is the motor from the C63 is what we've got in this, and this is the motor also from that V8 Vantage. It is a V8, it's a twin turbo, and it's quick, very quick. So we're just going to start reattaching stuff to it here. We've got it on the engine stand. I'm going to need to buy some more idler rollers. So we're going to come into the store. We're going to buy some idler roller A's. I'm just going to buy 10 of them just so I have some for now. Get that in. Pop in the cam gears. We need new cam gears. So I'm going to buy 4 of those because that's usually about the amount you need. Might need something else. Yeah, I see a timing chain shoe. Okay, so M177. So you're going to see me open up this show, or not this show. We're skipping songs here on accident. Okay. I keep switching the song. Sorry, guys. Okay. Got it. Was having an issue with my keyboard here. Didn't want to type numbers. So I was trying to figure out how we're going to get that fixed, but we got it. So we're looking for the timing chain shoe. Alright, so it looks like I'm gonna have to buy a lot of this stuff because this is an M177 engine. So we're gonna buy a timing chain A, we're gonna buy a timing chain B, we're gonna buy a timing chain C, we're gonna buy a timing chain shoe A, shoe B, shoe C, shoe D. We might even need multiple of these, but we're gonna buy one of each because this motor needs it. Buy all these covers. The transfer case I don't think we needed, so that was probably a mistake, but that's okay. We're gonna move on. The turbos we don't need. We bought those already from the performance site the last time we played. Same with the throttle. We're gonna buy the serpentine belts. We're gonna buy an oil pump, and we're gonna see about the oil pan for now. We're gonna skip on that because I think we might have that. So let's give it a shot. Let's see what we got. Wow, look at that! I rhymed. I didn't even mean to. And when you want one, you can't find one. Am I right? That's how it goes. Anyway, getting back in here, getting those cam gears on. That's why we bought them. Get another one on right on top of that. Bought 2 of the same size. Now they're different sizes. That's what I call mechanic magic. And now if only the mechanic magic worked on those electrical gremlins, am I right? It's a mechanic joke. It's not really a joke. Anyway, we can get these camshaft bearing caps in, and this is what I'm talking about, or crankshaft bearing caps. Look what I'm talking about. These things are huge. But look at how they mount flush like that, or nearly flush with the rest of the bottom of the block here. It's really cool. And it just makes me remember, you know, why I'm personally a Mercedes fan, and that's why I like, you know, German design, because, you know, this is why I got the DLCs. This is why I'm playing this game, because I want to experience this. I don't want to just build the same V8 engine over and over again in this game like I had been, and you know, like it was fun, but it got boring. And so now I can build these unique motors made by unique companies that exist in real life. You know, if I had the more expensive version of my car that I own and drive every day, it would have this motor in it. I don't have the performance version. I don't have the AMG. I have the normal C-Class. But it's just cool to think that, like, you know, this is how far video games have come. Obviously, it's not exact to the real engine, and I can tell you that firsthand, even just seeing mine, working with mine. But, you know, just to be able to see, you know, how the design is, how the design works, what's different, and, you know, that's really cool. It's unique, I think. And, you know, I think video games are in a great place because of that. You can do a lot of things and get a lot of experiences and a lot of sensations you wouldn't be able to get otherwise. So that's always cool. And we're missing a piston. That ought to help. And I'm surprised we're not missing one on the other side, but it looks like it's not hiding quite as bad over there. So there we go. And I was wondering why we couldn't put the oil pan on, but it looks like we're going to have to rebuild a little bit more here before we do that anyway. So let's see. We're going to get that timing chain shoe in. Timing chain shoe E. Now we can put the timing chain B. Okay, so as we rebuild the timing here, we should have the option eventually. Oil pump. See, the oil pump's already in. Good thing we didn't buy it. We should have the option eventually to get the timing covers on, and then probably what I'm thinking is the oil pan shortly thereafter. So we're just going to get all the ones that are hiding behind here, and this is where you see, you know, people say that these things are hard to work on, these Mercedes engines, and I don't blame them. They are, you know, and just Mercedes cars in general. So it looks like we need a water pump. Got a crankshaft pulley. We got too many, actually. And let's see if we need the oil pan. We do need an oil pan and a water pump. So we're going to keep moving for now. We're going to see what else we need. Hopefully we'll just be able to make one trip to the store, get everything all at once. So we put on this performance head. Now you can see this performance head. You can tell it's the performance variant because it's shiny. The original one is more close to the color of this block here, and dull. But it'll be a little lighter than the block, I believe. And it's also got these red lifters here, already pre-installed. That's how the heads come in these games, or in this game, depending on the head. But there are some rocker arms in some of the engines, so you do have to put the caps on individually. But you can see here the motor adds 8%, or sorry, the aftermarket performance head adds 8% to the overall performance values of the car. So that's pretty good bang for buck considering these cost, I think, under $2,000 each. So for about $3,500, usually you're getting 16% of the performance of the car. So adding on 16% the horsepower, 16% the torque, that's pretty considerable if you think about it. So I'll take that any day. If this is a race, I'll take that in a race. So those are good gains. We're going to get these manifolds on. We're going to get these camshafts on. We're going to get this head cover on. And now you see what I mean when I talk about the head cover, or I think I called it coil cover previously. But just a million screws, but we're trucking right through them because we have full XP. We have all the upgrades. In this game, there are upgrades, aftermarket fill rails going in. There are upgrades, and those upgrades will allow you to screw in bolts faster, mount parts faster, get discounts on parts. They'll allow you to upgrade certain things with regards to repairs, being able to repair something you might not previously have been able to repair. And yeah, so just really you know, adding a lot of customizability and options to sort of a career mode to, you know, actually add some immersion to the game, I think. I actually kind of like this light here. It's kind of cool. Okay, sorry, I'm messing with the light that I have here, and I actually kind of like it there, as opposed to none at all. So, okay, cool. We're going to keep going here. I'm trying to get these VVL controllers in, but it doesn't look like I have any. Yeah, and they're all one variant. It looks like we'll need 8 of them. So I've got some, but they're not in great condition. When I rebuild anything in this game, I only use parts that are 100% because, to me, what's the point of spending the time to do a whole rebuild if you're not going to get that 100% parts condition? You know, to me, it's just a waste of time. So might as well do it right. Do it once, do it right, and you know, enjoy afterwards. So that's what we're doing. And here, as you can see, we've rebuilt one side of the timing. There's still some things we need to buy. So we're going to keep trying to get as much in as we can to this engine. And then we're going to see what all we need to buy from here. It's like some cam gears, an engine head cover. We've got the turbos, so we can get those on. No need to wait. High pressure fuel injection pump. Got a couple of those. Good, good. So another one on the other side. Yes, but we'll need to get the engine head cover on first, get the fuel filter on. Oil pan, and then we'll be able to start putting on the sort of transmission interface parts like the flywheel clutch assembly. So, okay, so let's go to the we need a dipstick tube and then VVL controller. So let's go to the store here. So we're gonna say VVL controller. It's gonna be in the electronics store. VVL, and we're gonna need 8 of these. Alright, so we're gonna buy those, and then oil pan for an M177. Oil pan. And then let's see what else we need. Water pump for an M177. There we go. Grab one of those. Engine head cover A. So I'm just searching for all these parts just so that I can get to them quicker. Remember guys, if you guys are not already, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, because we're going to be rebuilding a lot more cars, and I'm having fun. I don't know about you guys. I hope you guys are having fun. It'd suck if you weren't. Oh man, can you imagine? Just hanging out, bored. Should I tell you guys some jokes? Why did the college professor cross the road? I'm gonna wait for you to respond like Dora the Explorer. To get to the other slide on PowerPoint. Alright, we're gonna keep going. That was awful. Oil fill tube going in. And we can get one of the intake manifolds on. Pop an air filter in there. And you see, once one domino starts falling, if you have those parts, it's one after the other, you know? They keep on falling. Get this water pump in. That thing looks cool. Wow, it's like flush. Get the intercooler in, and ironically, this intercooler looks just like the one in my car, in my C-Class. It's just placed somewhere different. Get this intake manifold on. Throttle, intake manifold, intercooler. Not in that order. So that's what we've got in here. Since we're down here, put this serpentine belt in. That's good stuff. Alright, now cam gear. We need 2 M177 V8 cam gears. And there they are. We need 2 of those. Buy them. Pop them in one by one. There we go. Get the timing chain on around that. Put the shoes on. Gotta get our shoes on before we go outside. Running. Shoe A. M177. I'm just gonna buy one of each again because I want to make sure that I didn't neglect. I'm gonna look at the. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take this off of the stand, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna put it right back on the stand. Now, when we go to install it, it's gonna tell us the condition of all these parts. What I'm afraid of is that I accidentally put on one of those timing chain shoes here. As you can see, I didn't accidentally put on one that wasn't at 100%. As you can see, the engine's at 100%. It's perfectly fine. I'll just reinstall it right back on. But I just wanted to check. That's a quick way to check. So we're gonna go here, pop this shoe in, pop this shoe in. Just shoes for days, guys. Alright, timing chain cover A. There we go. Put the cover on. And then we can start with the fun stuff. That is a weird cover. Okay. Intercooler. Throttle. These are all aftermarket parts. You can tell by A, the red. That's another thing that the aftermarket parts will have. And then also the red icon that indicates performance gain numbers. Those short screws are way quicker than the long ones. Wish they were all like that. Oh wow, timing cover C. I would have missed that if I didn't see that. But I guess we would have missed everything that we didn't see in general. That's just how life works, but whatever. Let's get some of those. We're gonna need some. I guess we only needed 4, but you know, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. So here we go. Get these on. VBL controllers. We got them on the other side. This side is the one that was... Actually, we got this side done first, didn't we? No, we didn't. We got the other side done first. Pop this manifold on. Pop this filter in. See, I already bought these. We need dipstick tube and we need a oil pan. M177 dip and pan. There we go. Did I already buy the oil pan? If I'm gonna have 2 oil pans and I paid $350 twice, I'm gonna be upset. Not that upset, but like at least mildly. No, I'm just kidding. I probably won't be, but it's all good. I do have 2 oil pans. I totally already did buy one, so that's cool. We'll be building another one. Oh, you know what? I actually am gonna need another one, and I completely forgot. I should have been buying 2 of everything. That's what I was doing before. That's why I have 2 of some of these parts. I'm going to be building this motor again. I don't think I was actually building this motor originally for the Vantage. I think the reason this is on the stand is because I was going to put it on the DBX Super SUV. I might still do that. Not 100% sure, but we'll see. However I'm feeling by the end of this, it's either going to go on the Vantage or the DBX. So one or the other. But it looks like... I think with that, okay, we got idler roller A here. Okay, so we've got some more stuff now that the oil pan's in. Finish up this timing belt area. Alright, so it looks like we are timing slash belt area. Looks like we're ready to pop this one back into the car. So I'm going to leave it on here for now. I'm going to save my game. There's my debug menu there. I am going to figure out what I want it in. I do not know which car I want it in. This one's... I think these are both fully ready other than the motor. Yeah, and this one needs the motor for the up pipes on the suspension. So, I could really put it in either. I think I'm going to put it in the DBX. Which means I'm going to send... I will probably send this Carrera to parking, the Carrera GT, and I'll probably send this thing to parking since I'm not going to want to make another M177 engine for a minute. Just because there's so many other ones to do, so you might as well. So yeah, I'm going to move these out. And we'll be able to move one of these into a lifter. So let's call it that one. We'll get that one in relatively soon, the Viper. That one's a cool V10 in there. Sounds fantastic. I think it's a V10. And then we're going to get this DBX in here. So see, it's a M177 V8 twin turbo all-wheel drive, and we're gonna pull that move to garage. That should give us what we need. There we go. Out front, Aston Martin row right here. It would have even been more Aston Martin row if we didn't send that other one back. We'll just put it there. Pretty cool. But yeah, so let's get this in on the second lifter. I'm going to get the wheels back on this thing too. So let's finish this car up. We might as well. It's close. Does it have everything? It doesn't have anything. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's finish this car up. So we're going to go in here. Let's put the motor in. Usually the motor is the last thing I put in other than everything else, but you know, heck, we can still do it that way. So we're going to start getting stuff in right now. The car is lowered on the lift, so we're going to put everything that is engine bay accessible into the car right now. That's all the ABS stuff, the ABS computer. That is the suspension, or rather one half of the suspension. The other half we're going to have to access from the bottom. The top half we'll be able to pop in now. Not have to wait. Wheel hubs in. Wheel bearing. Got these ceramic brake discs. They're ventilated. They're not ventilated. They're drilled. And rotors. And they look fantastic. They're basically race brakes, from what I understand. The game's version of them. So full carbon ceramic on the rotors. And there's only one variant of pads, so I couldn't do anything about that. Can't do anything about the calipers. Every car, from the oldest oldies to the fastest hypercar, uses the same brake calipers in this game. So you can only ask for so much realism and immersion, but all things considered, I'd say it's pretty realistic, other than the actual reality of what it's like to actually work on a car, which is nothing like this. But the parts themselves and how they kind of work and where they kind of go, you know, that's all generally checks out. So that's good stuff. I need to buy a fuse box here. And buy a couple of each. And go back to putting stuff in. This one actually has two fuse boxes, fuse box A and a fuse box B. Got a bunch of fuses and relays already in my inventory because you always need these, and they're cheap, so you might as well buy them in bulk. And just like that, fuse box B is built. And that's why I keep them in my inventory, because it's really quick. I also keep reservoirs in my inventory, so I keep every coolant reservoir, at least like 5 or 10 of those, if not more. I keep windshield washer reservoirs, which are the same in every car. It's just, you know, different. They show up as different sizes, but they're the same design and they're the same part. So yeah, we need some fans and housings, and let's see. So if I click that, I might be able to move closer to the back. There we go. All right, now we're in the back. These rear suspension put together. We need new, basically all of these. Alright. Get it pushing in there. Wheel hub. There we go. So that's sort of the rust guard, or the dust guard, I think, that keeps it from rusting. Keeps your rotors from rusting with brake dust. Keeps brake dust from getting out of your suspension components and all of that. So, let's see, there we go. Alright, so we're pretty much... Oh, we gotta do the other side. Once we do this other side, we've done most of what we can do with the car lowered here. Obviously, we'll do the other fuse box. This is knuckle housing A. suspension arm 2 is in. Showing that. The wheel hub. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It would be much appreciated. Or don't. Just like, you know, search up my name and like spend like a good 15 to 20 minutes, like once a month, maybe twice a month if I'm really good, trying desperately to remember what my name is, and then like searching like weird guy with Sanrio blanket streamer, and trying to figure out like based on that, and Google doesn't know what the hell you're talking about, and so you probably should just subscribe so you don't have to, you can save yourself that headache. You don't have to do that. It can be a better welcome to the land of the mustache, you know what I mean? Just like come to the dark side, you know what I mean? That's all you got to do. We have simulator games. That's basically what I do, is simulator games. So Racing Simulator 2 though, so it gets fun. DCS, I got the mustache for a reason, okay? So it's not all screwing in bolts, you know what I mean? All right, let's get these air shocks going. Perfect, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get these in and move back up to the front of the car. We're gonna get the battery in once we buy it. Let's see if I have one on the charger. I might. Let's get all these fuses in first. Get these in, and then we can focus on rebuilding the rest of the car from the bottom. Bring it up on the lift. And then we get that motor, and this car will be done. I mean, the last thing I will say that I like to save to do very last on these cars is I've got to buy this radiator housing. The thing I like to do last on these cars is to put a license plate on the car that reminds me of where that car is from, you know. So if I feel like it's a Texas car, I put Texas. If I feel like it's a California car, I put California. If I feel like it's a Chicago car, because I live in Chicago, I put Illinois. If I feel like it's a you know, presidential limo, I put Washington D.C. So that's my strategy. I'm sticking to it, and if you don't like it, you can hit up the complaints department. They're in business from 9 to 5 every weekday. The only requirement is you have to be subscribed on YouTube, so, and Twitch, and then you can complain, and then you can just go in the chat and complain, and then I might sympathize with you or empathize with you. I might do neither, but I might, and then if I do, then maybe you'll feel good, and then you'll subscribe to me, and then I'll say I'm sorry, and maybe we can work it out, and then I'll take you out for ice cream or something, and then I don't know, you could like, I'll follow you back, and then maybe we could do like joint streams, you know what I mean? And then this could be like a whole mutually beneficial relationship, and you never even would have known if you didn't follow that weird guy with the simulator games on Twitch. You probably should have. So do it. I mean, I'm probably not going to do that, but like, you never know. It could. It could happen. I'm probably not, but it could. Anyway, let's bring this motor over. No, it's not motor time yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's bring it up on the lift. I wanted to, but I'm not gonna, because it doesn't make any sense. I should just finish it and stop being impatient, because that's the best way to do it. Okay, just checking these, make sure I got the good kind of brakes on all four of them. Alright, so let's get that suspension cross member in. Sorry for the crazy camera business. And we're gonna, let's get these rubber bushings in. I gotta buy more rubber bushings. I swear this game has me buying rubber bushings like every 4 cars, if that. And I buy them 50 at a time. Sometimes I buy them 100 at a time. I'm gonna buy 100 right now. And watch, 4 cars from now, gone. It's crazy. A lot of parts use them. That's why. Because it's a good thing. Better than having to buy a million different kinds. Okay, so we need a steering rack. We're gonna need a bottom suspension arm A. Here's front sway bar. Buy 4 of those. Bottom suspension arm A. Buy 8 of those. Should buy 10. 2 more. And then front sway bar. Buy like 10 of those. Buy 12. There we go. And buy 10 of these. 12. There we go. Okay, this is just so that I don't have to go buy them in the future. I like to try to run my garage that way. A little less overhead, but it saves me time. I like that. I like saving time. So we're gonna get in what we can right now. So I'm gonna have to buy another air strut. Get bushing in. Get the front diff in. Might as well. Bottom suspension on. There we go. So we're just filling out the suspension here, piece by piece. We got end links. We got drive axles. We got transfer cases. We don't have his front air suspension, but we will. And we're getting them all in. You know? That's what we do. We mechanic cars. We simulate mechanicking cars. Front air suspension shock B. Shock B right here. So we'll buy 2 of those. I'm gonna buy 2 of the front ones. Front air suspension shock A. And then rear air suspension shock. We're gonna buy 4 of them. I don't know if I'm gonna need those. I might, but we'll see. Okay, we're not gonna get wheels on yet because I don't think I'm ready for that. I don't think I have them. I'll be honest. I do need to buy a couple batteries because I checked my battery charger. We do not have any of those right now. So let me see. Let's buy like 12. That'll let us do 12 cars. It's assuming none of those cars have them, which like hopefully they would, but you never know. So middle muffler, and then we're gonna need rear muffler. 2 middle mufflers, 1 rear muffler, and it's for the DBX. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I have these, because I think I bought them already. I did. Okay, cool. Good thing I checked. So I'm just gonna place these in. You can see these exhaust components, when they're the performance exhausts, including the mufflers, all pipes, etc., are also shiny because they're the performance variant. So you can tell that's the difference there. With the rear suspension cross membrane doesn't make any sense to do after the exhaust, but hey, that's why it's a game. So we're just gonna wrap up this rear suspension, get everything in we need. Oop. And so see, that is, I accidentally clicked on a bad part. I need to get a new one of these. That is what it looks like when these parts go bad. So you know. So it's definitely, you can tell. Sometimes at the beginning it might be a little hard to tell. It was a little hard for me to tell at the beginning. Just because, you know, sometimes if they're not super bad condition, they can just be a little bit rusty and, you know, you might not be able to tell right away, but you know, eventually you get good at kind of deciding, okay, is that rust or is it dirty or is it, you know, just bad lighting or what's going on? And you get the hang of it. Oh my gosh, this game makes me want to go play Fortnite. I love this game so much. So it's like therapy for me in a way. It's like therapeutic. I told that to my therapist. She said, well, I would hope that therapy is like therapy for you. And I said, yeah, it would be if I went to therapy. I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't go to therapy. I probably should. Anyway, with that rear end link, oh no, we've got 2 more rubber bushings. Always the rubber bushings. I'm trying to tell you. Here we go. There we go. And now we are done with the rear suspension. So we've got the rear suspension wrapped up. We've got the exhaust system as wrapped up as we can without an engine in here. As you saw, same kind of deal as on the Vantage. We can't actually connect these up pipes, or or I guess they would be down pipes from the motor, without putting in the motor first. So we're gonna wrap up the suspension in the front. There is something missing. Oh, you know what? The thing that's missing also needs the motor. So this is an interesting design here. We've got this front diff. The front diff directly drives the front right straight from the diff, but it needs a extra drive axle to extend and then drive the front left, because it's located here more toward the right of the car. So that requires the motor and the transmission to be in the car first. So we're gonna work on getting, I think, the motor in next, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, so let's bring this baby down. Got her high up on the lift right now. She's done her job. Let's bring her down, put the motor in, and then we will figure out these wheels and get her on the dyno, see what she's making. So I'm gonna need this engine crane. I'm gonna move that to my DBX, and I'm gonna bring the motor right in there. All right. Okay, but why? Why is it like this? Okay, why is it ugly? Let's see. What have we done wrong here? This is not the motor that we just built. That's for sure. So what have we done wrong? Is it trying to be? No, it's not even fully built. So let's pull this motor. I don't know what's gone wrong. Install twin turbo all-wheel drive. Okay. I've made a crucial mistake. I've just built this DBX for no reason. But I'm not for no reason, because I am still going to build it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that motor that I just put in there for some reason. I'm going to put it right on the stand, and we're going to build it in a minute. Eventually, we're going to build it. Today's going to be the day of two assets. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring this crane. I'm going to leave that crane where it's at, actually. I'm going to close that hood up. Right now, we're going to save the game. I'm going to swap this car out for the other Aston, which I think I put in the garage. No, I didn't. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay. Wrong Aston. I did put it in the garage. So let's pull that, and then I'm going to send this Discovery back. I don't want it right now. I want that Aston. I want to make my Aston Martin Row. Oh, there we go. Okay. So that little black frame kind of stuttering is just something that happens with the mod, the quality of life mod. When you send a car to, or take a car from these extra spots that are added with the mod, so you see this Discovery we just sent to the garage got sent straight here to this spot. It just sort of refreshes what you're seeing on the screen, and so that's what that is. It manifests as that kind of black slot there. And give me just 1 second, get the text message. By the way, if you guys are not subscribed, go subscribe so I can stop making awful analogies as to why you should subscribe. Because I'm going to keep doing it, and it's going to get worse. And I'm not sorry. Alright. So we made a spot here. We're gonna pull out of our parking. Here's your first look at our parking. So we'll see how much you can take in. But we are gonna pull out a. Nope. I'm bad at this. DBS. Nope. Where is that car? Aston Martin Vantage, the last car. Of course it is. All right, there it is. I kind of want that dark green colorway now that I saw that on the thumbnail. I don't know about that. I might do that. But speaking of thumbnails, let's go over here and get this one. How do I even... Can I adjust the field of view, maybe? Okay, is that the thumbnail? Let's get it. Hold on, hold on. I don't have a full keyboard, so I have to do it with my Xbox overlay. Sorry, it's gonna take me a sec. There we go. Okay, that should have saved. Okay, so that's that. Let's see, does a butt shot look better? Not really. Maybe. I'll do it. Yeah, I'll take that one too. Sorry, bear with me. Taking a screenshot. There we go. Alright. Getting back at it. We're gonna bring this thing in, and I'm just gonna put that motor straight in there. So we were building the motor for this thing the whole time, which is, it really does not make a difference, but I'm a little sad because I wanted to see the Aston Martin DBX done. I think the DBX is the first car that I actually started building in this game playthrough, and I just haven't had the time to finish it yet. But it's been slowly, little by little getting added to, and the body would get done, and just little by little. So you can see we lowered this motor back into the Vantage. We're going to put this engine crane back, and wow, that is a beat in there. We're going to go to part mounts mode, and we're going to put in these air ducts. See if I have the ones I need. I do. So this comes from me buying all those parts and that massive buying spree I went on. I think all the rest is going to come from the bottom, other than the shocks. So, or rather the whole strut assembly. Got another fan housing, so good that I bought more of those. So yeah, so the suspension we can put in. The strut towers, we're going to need double wishbones in the front. So just one double wishbone for the front. We're going to go to our oh, and there it is. I already put it together. Okay, cool. So that is our suspension machine right here, our spring puller, I guess. Spring. It also joins parts together, so it just compresses the springs so that you can, create a strut tower assembly like this out of these 3 individual parts. You can put them all together into this one assembly. So that helps a lot because you won't be able to fix suspension otherwise. Alright, so I think that is this car wrapped, other than the final sort of drivetrain here, transmission area, and then obviously the final parts of the exhaust. So let's send this up. This song's awesome. Random thought. Alright, so we're gonna just keep building here. V8 M177 Vantage. I can see if there's a custom gearbox available. The custom gearboxes, yeah, there is. So they're a little more expensive, but as you can see, this is the performance variant of the gearbox. So we'll buy one for the Vantage here. Get this gearbox connected. God, my nose is so itchy. Alright. Do I have the exhaust? I do have the exhaust pieces that are missing. And those are just the down pipes. And do I have a drive shaft? I do. Okay, cool. Get that in. Get the starter in. I think that's it. Is that it? I think that's it. All right, let's look at the list. See if anything's missing. All right, so there's some stuff missing. Spark plugs, engine cover. Okay, ignition coils. So coils, manifolds, spark plugs, license plates, and engine cover. Okay, so let's look at this engine. Now we're gonna have to get to this from the top, but I didn't see how to add all that stuff because I assume I'm missing the spark plugs. So let's see if I can find whatever little tiny port those are supposed to go into. Oh, are they in the middle? Oh gosh. Bet you they are. Alright, let's see. Let's see if we can pull. Let's pull the filter. Let's pull the ductwork. Let's Pull the manifold. Intake manifold. Okay, now let's see where we can get these things in. Yes, there's no way to take those off. Where are the missing spark plugs supposed to go? That's my question. Do we go in here? Where do they go? I might have to look this up. This will be a first, guys, which is actually crazy. If I have to look this up, this will be a first that I will have had to look up where something goes on these cars. Because, yeah, I just see nowhere for them to go. I mean, normally it should be like up here where these fuel rails are, maybe, but... yeah, there's a fuel rail there. A little crowded currently at the current moment. Let me take one of them off. Let me see if I'm missing something. Maybe. Yeah, no. I'm not missing anything. So where do they go? They have to go in the middle. How many holes are in the middle? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's like 11 holes there. There's not 11 spark plugs. Where do these go? Okay, well, let me see. Let me see if I can figure it out. I'm gonna go... look it up on my phone. Alright. So M177 spark plug location. I feel like an idiot searching this. No offense to anyone else who doesn't know where the spark plugs are in the M177, but okay. But where do they go? I still can't really tell where they came out of. I see the coil packs. Oh, don't tell me they're in the middle. I think they are in the middle. Oh god. Oh god, am I gonna have to take these turbos off? Let me take the turbos off. Let me see what happens. Because something is gonna happen. I knew it. I was like, I'm missing something. This does not feel done. But yeah. Okay, I should have trusted my instinct. Accessible from engine bay. Oh gosh. Okay. Alright, I guess I also have to get from the engine bay, so we gotta bring it back down again. So for now, what we're gonna do, the mission for today's video, is just to finish this car. That's what we're gonna do. Whoa. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Oh gosh, gotta take all these manifolds off, all the turbos off. This is why I wish that you could check the parts list while you're building the motor. Because you can't, to my knowledge, check the parts list while you're building the motor. The sort of car condition dialogue doesn't even come up. Car status or whatever it's called. There we go. Pop those off. I have no clue. I really have no clue. Where are these things supposed to go? Please tell me. Chat? Can chat save me? I'm supposed to go like there somehow? I feel like that would check out. We'll look up specifically for Car Mechanic Simulator where these things are, because it looks like they're in the center for these in real life. Spark plugs. Between the turbos and the heads. Directly down from the top, between the turbos and the heads. Okay, so that's here. But where? Where does it... Oh my gosh! Those are tiny! Wow. What a design. I mean, that's kind of smart putting them there. But wow. That's wild. Well, I guess tearing back that stuff down wasn't all for nothing. Just the manifold and the turbo here, but those are quick, so I'm not mad about it. Wow, that is insane. If that guy hadn't have told me where those are, I would not have seen it, even from real life, because I was like, they are here, but like where? And yeah, that's wild. Because the coil packs do not look like these single ignition coils in real life. They're like actually bigger coil packs. That's wild. They're shaped like squares, kind of. Get the manifolds on, intake manifolds. Filters in, the ducts in, intercoolers on. There we go. Let's wrap this motor up, boys and girls. And no intake manifold covers. Alright, throttle, manifold. I'm excited. We are almost done with this car. And I feel like I've been working on this car for forever, even before this video was recorded, so this is a good feeling. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to work on another project and move on. I'm tired of seeing it. But it is a pretty car, but I don't know. I might want to redo... I might want to paint the wheel. Can I paint the wheels? I might be able to. Let's see if I can, because I might want to do that. Because... I might want to change the color. I don't know. It's just not it's not super aggressive looking, or it kind of looks like one of those anime skins in Fortnite, which is cool, but I don't want it to look 2D. It's a car, you know, and it's an Aston Martin. Aston Martins have some lines on them, you know, so I want to make sure you can see that. M177 manifold B and a D. There we go. Alright, and I think this is gonna be it for this car. Just the exhaust at the end, and then I think we're done. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to lift it again to put this exhaust back in, but I think that's it otherwise. So let's see, let's lift the car. I'm gonna go and save the game, which I maybe shouldn't do while the lift is in motion. Let's do it again now that it's stopped. Alright, and let's get these exhaust sections in. And yep, just license plates now. This car is done. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's go bring this over to the paint booth. That's the car wash, not the paint booth. Let's bring it over to the paint booth. I'm going to see what I can't do with this thing. I might even make it that tennis ball yellow, you know? That's pretty cool, I think. So, we'll see. Paint part. I can paint an ABS module?
No way. Oh yeah, I figured I couldn't. Okay. Like, how the heck? Okay. But, I mean, I assume I can paint a wheel, is the thing. Gosh, I'm going to have to put everything back, though. Look at this. 571 pages of parts. Awful. Okay. That's cool for now. Let's see if we can find factory colors. There's definitely a tennis ball yellow, though. That's the thing about this. So there's definitely a tennis ball yellow. I don't know how to get it. That's kind of close. That's actually really close. Just a little bit more green. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. I'll take that. And I'm going to give it the livery. We're going to give it... I guess Rander's livery too. Alright, yeah, so we're going to repaint this. I am a lot happier with this color than the other color, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it pops a lot more. I would love to put some black wheels on it, but for now, I think we're good. And that is the Aston Martin DB, sorry, not DB, Vantage, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah, the thing is a looker, I'll tell you that. It's a looker for sure. But in its current state, without the license plates, it's worth $276,000. Let's see how much these license plates add, because we're gonna see if we're. Oh, so those are the story orders, by the way. Oh wow, very cool. So you're gonna see 276,000 with a condition bonus of 70 grand. So let's see how much these license plates actually add to the value of our car at sales. So if we've got an Aston, it's got to be UK, right? So we've got to go Britain, Great Britain, or we could do British Columbia. I don't know if there's actually any cars manufactured in British Columbia, so we'll give it to the Aston Martin on a technicality. I've got to do Great Britain for the actual like DBS, the DB5. This is a little bit of a newer one, so I think we can take a creative liberty if we wanted to. Oh, that looks fantastic on there. Wow. Alright, so remember, $276,000 sale price with a $70,000 condition bonus. Now if we're going to look, $299,000 with a $93,000 condition bonus. So just for everything being in 100% condition, we're getting an extra $23,000 off of the sale. And remember that the condition bonus was already at $70,000 because it was in good condition. But in perfect condition, that's an extra 20 grand on top. So that's great. So we're profiting $280K on this car for a sell value of just under $300,000. $299,409. So it's pretty cool if you ask me. And we are building our way up. We still got 27,000 left. So my idea is I'm going to see if we can't finish that DBX next time. And then with the money that we have left, or maybe go flip some other cars in the meantime, and then we'll be able to keep these. Is that a smart idea? I don't know. Does it make sense so that we can start building some crazier cars, some supercars, some hypercars? I mean, I guess these are supercars, but a little more super sport or super muscle. Do I want to be building hypercars? Do I want to be building race cars? Yes. So that's why I'm trying to think of what the best upgrade path would be to accomplish that goal as quickly as possible. Because that's the whole reason that I got this DLCs, I got the full version of the game, and I got the mod. Is because I want to build all the cars that I couldn't build in the base game. So with that, thank you guys so much for joining me on today's stream, and I had a lot of fun. It was my first stream. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hold on, I really want to do this. We will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Peace. Dang it, I did the wrong one. There we go, stream ending. Alright, thanks, guys.
into. Lost the treasure I've been keeping. Think that I'm missing you. Where did we part? Where did we break? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love gone? Tell me where to find our love. I need you, I miss our love. Come back and give me the bond that was key.